Hi everyone, Suzanne Barnhurst here to give you some feedback about your group project for Heineken. So this is to Michael, Giuseppe, Jacqueline, and Allison. First, let me say thank you very much for the project. I can see that you worked hard on this and you developed a pretty good story about Heineken and its holistic properties. So what I want to do is kind of share with you your PowerPoint and go over a few things. Sorry, this isn't a little bit bigger, but you know what it looks like. So let's start with the beginning. Good introduction, why you picked Heineken and Heineken's background. There are many people that know about Heineken, and then again, there are many people that don't, whether or not they drink beer or, are beer fans. But Heineken has come a long way in its many, many years. And as you point out later in your PowerPoint, they did a massive branding change and were able to reposition themselves in the minds of the consumer. I know people now that drink Heineken that never drank it before, which is kind of an impressive in itself, given all the different kinds of craft beers, etc., that are out there today. So we talked about that. We got this good background here, and then we had this slide entitled Heineken's Revolution and how they changed themselves. I was a little confused here because you have internal performance and relationship, and here you have brand positioning, but not integrated marketing. So I was sort of expecting that brand positioning would be about integrated marketing and creating a seamless message across all areas of marketing. I didn't see that, but as I go further, we'll talk about that a little bit. Internal marketing, good information about how they handle employees at Heineken. Heineken employs internal marketing in two ways: brand ambassadors and this Go Places campaign. The brand ambassador thing is very interesting. This thing about the students and how you stay 4 years and how they rotate them through. What a great idea, especially since students are probably closer to the beer drinking age that most of us were than people that are older and sort of set in their ways. So this is a pretty innovative program. Then you mentioned they have this promotion to motivate staff, and they get to if they are top performers, they get to do really cool things like go to the Olympics in Rio or go to the Formula One Grand Prix, which is a pretty good reward and a very good program. And then you have this Go Places campaign again, which is a good piece of information, features stories of Heineken employees. And the goal of the campaign is to increase the quality and quantity of job applicants to hire better people and perform better. What a great innovative idea, and good in the PowerPoint here. So now we're back to this brand repositioning, and I see that there were 4 things that they did, 4 main themes. They had to take on repositioning in order to change their image due to 3 things that you list here: changing patterns of beverage consumption, the tech-savvy generation, and potential bans on beer. So it did make them identify something new, that they had to do something new, excuse me. Your explanation here was a little thin, and I didn't quite understand what they meant. The interaction, I see implementation of e-commerce. Well, was that the message? Were these the message across the organization in all areas? Was everything integrated, in other words? Exposure to Save the Planet campaign through social media, that's a sustainability thing. Engagement in the city that they developed, I've seen that before, that's pretty interesting. And relationships by developing sponsorships, that's all good. Is that part of the integrated marketing, and is that part of the consistent messaging that they have? So if you'd have done a little more explanation here, maybe possibly in the narration or something else that, that it might have helped. I just wasn't quite sure where you were going with that. Open Your World campaign. Okay, we're into performance marketing. Really good summary here about the campaign that they did, brought together people from opposite ends of the spectrum and overcome their differences. I did see that. It was really great campaign, has a positive social impact, which is a key component of performance marketing. It also is part of the messaging that they have out there also. But that was a good summary of that. And okay, then we move on to the financial and non-financial components of performance marketing. I'm sorry, the definition of performance marketing. And you talked about the environment, the factory sustainability, and the Open Your World campaign, which you already viewed. Performance marketing, sustainability, excuse me. This is a really good description of what they're doing and how they have still managed to help the environment by cutting CO2, despite the fact that they produce 1.4 million bottles of beer at this one facility, which is amazing. Let me see. And I like this little fact that you put in here about the sawmill's heat contributed 40% of the facility heat. This is really good details and information that helps you understand a little bit better how Heineken feels about the whole practice of holistic marketing and being community minded and sustainability minded, and all that obviously speaks to their performance. So that was good there also. And then relationship marketing, you talked about this STAR program, where it helps rebuild customer relationship. And then you think in the next one here, you talk about customer, this is again, a relationship marketing with the different partnerships, which is also very important. And Heineken is very well known for, particularly from my perspective, in the racing world, where you have Formula One and Formula E. I guess if I were a rugby champion fan, I would know that also. But they are really well known, Formula One and Formula E. And you have James Bond Spectre here, and I'm not sure if that was the movie, but I'm not sure. But anyway, those of us that are James Bond fans do remember the Heineken connection there. And then here you come back to the STAR tabs, which is a good explanation of the STAR tabs as part of relationship marketing and customer relationship management. So in a way, it was a little bit disorganized for me to understand where you were going. I think I did pick things up the way you wanted to. In some areas, there could have been a little bit better explanation, but overall, it was a very good project. I identified most of the holistic marketing principles, gave us a pretty good idea of how Heineken has been successful and from where they've been and where they've gone, and how they utilized holistic marketing strategies in order to get there. And as your conclusion, you have here the results. The city store gets 300,000 visitors. They've expanded other store locations. They've used technology and integration on all these partnerships. So again, good work. I appreciate your effort, and I appreciate all your efforts throughout the course this semester. When students put out as much effort as you folks have done, that's what makes it a good class. I can add some things to it, but when you speak to one another and we all communicate together, it adds a great deal more of information to the class. So I really appreciate your efforts in the forums as well as your assignments in this group project. So thanks very much, and I will be grading your projects in the next week and a half, and sending out an email when they are complete. Hopefully, I definitely will speak to you again before Thanksgiving. So enjoy your week, and thanks again for your project. Good. Got that done. Now we can go back here. Done and meeting.